I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I see something and I tell myself, I want that, or I want to make that, or, as creative people do, we see something and we go, oh, I could totally make that, or at least we think we can. I really want to wear sorry, there was a chicken and it moved the camera. I really want this design. I really want this style, not all aspects of it, but I was gifted this sewing pattern that is for cargo pants. So I figured let's use that to make something inspired by this Free People pant that I already really like the look of. But I'm making it out of a unisex sewing pattern. It is S995, I think. I'm going to double check that and I'll link to the proper one. I bought 4 meters of this fabric. It's a nice denim fabric and it is already sewn into something, but I'm going to show you in a second. I bought this in Gamara. I did a whole video explaining the whole process and everything, but I figured I would take you on this little journey. If you also love the look of this Free People design or just need inspo for something else that you want, you can take a sewing pattern that you already have, or you can buy the sewing pattern and you can tweak it and make something hopefully similar. I don't know, I haven't made it yet, so I don't know how similar, but I'm currently testing the pattern out. As it's a unisex, I bought enough to make my husband a pair of cargo pants, and now that I understand how their pattern is made, I'm going to tweak it to do mine. So his is based off of the original design, the original like pattern design, and then mine is going to be based off of just something that I want, something that I found inspo in. This right here is currently his pant, and the Free People design has this same pocket. I will try to insert a picture so I can show you. It has this same pocket where you can see the little slant here, but the pocket on the side is different. And then I noticed that the Free People pant has a dart at the front and at the back, and it's a very long dart. It goes all the way down to at least the knee, I think it goes about there. So I've found as many pictures as I can so I can take my inspo from it, and that's how we're going to take tweaks. The dart is supposed to be nice and long, and then in the dart, the front pocket, the front cargo pocket, is like sandwiched between this seam here, the dart, and then it's also sandwiched between the actual side seam. So I'm going to basically move my pocket over. It might not even be this big. And then it just has buttons. It doesn't have a flap. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to tweak this one just a little bit so it's more rounded to fit. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sewing pattern, and if you notice it has this seam right here. When I go to cut my pattern out, I'm just going to lay the two pieces next to each other so that I can cut them all out at once, because I'm going to skip this, even though it looks cool. This is not a full tutorial. It's not like how to make this exact thing. I'm just going to show you how I tweak a sewing pattern I currently have into something. I apologize, the chickens are shaking the camera. I'm just going to show you how I tweak a sewing pattern into something that I want, and so I can use something I already own and just continue to reuse it. That's my plan. To make my version of the Free People cargo pants, I started by placing my pattern pieces from the Simplicity cargo pants pattern. I went ahead and traced all around it, but then I wanted to make some tweaks because I wasn't going to do the elastic in the cuffs. So I went ahead and placed a pattern from a different pair of pants that I have. It is an Anna Allen sewing pattern, pants pattern, and that I've used several times before and I really like. So I went ahead and traced the leg on this to make sure that I got a width of the pant that I would prefer. And then I just cut everything out. The Free People cargo pants have an elastic waist and it doesn't have a real zipper, but I decided to do a zipper on this one because it it seemed easier to do a zipper with the pleats. So I went ahead and went for a size small, keeping the size I normally would do, but instead of adding the elastic waistband, I switched it over to a zipper. I did the same thing on the back. I traced the simplicity pattern just to get the same curve and everything, and then I placed my Anna Allen pattern on top of it and traced around it to get the width of the cuff at the bottom, but I did make sure to match the crotch seam and the width of the hip. To make the pleats on the back of the pants, I used the placement of the pleats from the Anna Allen pant pattern that I'm using. I just lined that up, but then I created an extra long pleat. The cargo pants and the Free People cargo pants looks like it goes all the way to the back of the knee. So I went ahead and measured how long I wanted the pleat to go, and then I just drew a straight line down and calculated how much fabric I would need to take out of the waist and use that to make my pleat. For me, I just took out about an inch total, a half an inch on either side of the line, and then I created an angle or a point at the tip, and that's how I created my pleat. I pinned my pleats and I sewed them down on the back, and then I went ahead and prepped my pockets for the back. To do this, I just sewed a buttonhole at the very center of the pocket. I folded in the edges, gave it a good press with my iron, and then I pinned them to the back of the pant. After sewing on the pockets, I sewed up the rear seam. Jumping to the front, I've already installed a zipper following the Anna Allen sewing pattern. At this point, I don't have the pleats sewn into the front. I realized that I needed to add pockets, which I copied the pockets on the cargo pants. So I sewed my pockets in, and then I sewed in my zipper, adding the fishy touches to my zipper, and then I will go ahead and move on to the pleats. To do the pleats in the front, it's going to be exactly the same as in the back. However, you just have to figure out the placement. The placement on one side of the front of the pants is super easy to find, but it's the placement on the other side of the zipper that threw me off, and I redid it and undid it and redid it again several times. So you just gotta figure it out and figure out where you're measuring from, but otherwise you can do basically the same exact pinning and drawing with your chalk as we did at the back of the pants. Just draw your straight line, draw your darts, figure out how much fabric you need to take out so that the waist isn't too big. Before sewing down the dart in the front, I pinned it, and then I grabbed my pockets that are for the front. They are prepped the exact same way as the pockets were prepped for the back, but then we have to pin them in place. I will say that my pockets did not turn out as pretty as the Free People cargo pants. I think the way I installed it works, but I probably would need to sew some kind of a dart into the pocket, some kind of a pleat or something, so that the pocket has like a little bit of, it stands up a little bit, because my pockets were tight and they didn't sit right. And maybe it's because the Free People cargo pants are a lot bigger, I'm not sure, but I had a hard time figuring out how to even get them into the seam. That one took me a while, and I undid it and redid it several times, but then in the end my pockets were not even, and they weren't perfect, and they weren't super easy to get into. So it needs a little bit of a thought process here, and maybe, like I said, maybe it needs to be more like how a cargo pocket is, that stands up because it has an extra fold down at the bottom of it. And because the pocket is sewn into the seam, I had to do one pocket at a time and sew everything together, and then sewing the other side of the pant and the other pocket and the top stitching and everything was a whole lot more difficult, just because of how much fabric I had to like shuffle around and everything. But the process is the same, the pinning and the sewing and everything is the same. It's just, it gets a lot bulkier when you go to sew the other side. order that I had to sew the pants in, it was really hard to do a fit check until everything was actually sewn in place. And at that point, when I was seeing the gap in the back, I didn't really want to go back and undo everything. So I know the gap is there and I come up with a solution later, but it needs to be addressed earlier on if possible. It's hard because I made it a zipper instead of an elastic waist. I always leave one edge open and not sewn down, not top stitched or anything, because I have cut my waistbands too short before, so I intentionally cut my waistband long, knowing that later I would go ahead and trim it down and then do that final top stitching.
Next level. Next level.
This may sound weird, but the chickens have eaten all of my beautiful scenery. So we're trying to work with a corner, and it's not all cute. It's not all cute. But here is my finished result. We are hoping to take pictures before all the mosquitoes eat us alive. So we're on a time limit. But here we go. I did the buttons in the back pockets, like the Free People version. I also added the pocket here. My pockets are not even. This one is smaller than this one. It's not perfect. I also opted to skip the elastic on the hem. I think it was a ribbon in the Free People version. I just didn't think I would really wear it. I put in a zipper here instead of the elastic waistband that the Free People version has. And I am experiencing a little bit of a gapping issue. It's a little bit big. And I'm going to try to fix that. I just stepped in chicken poop. I saw this thing on, I think it was Pinterest, where somebody took some bra clasps, like a little clasp that you have on the back of your bra, and they put it on the side. If you have that little clip there, you can just like, oop, I want it a little bit tighter. And that would absolutely solve my problem. So I might try that, but I'm going to do it later. We're going to take pictures now. We're going to tuck this down and pretend that it's gorgeous and it's perfect. Chicken poop. It is tighter in here. I really, really, really don't want to unpick it and undo my pleats in the front because it was very difficult to do that. Anyways, I'm going to go take some pictures. Well, I'm going to attempt to take some pictures. I don't know where to stand. There are chickens and chicken poop everywhere. And there used to be an extra tree over there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's on the ground. The chickens ate it. Please don't tell my landlord. It's gone. So I'm going to attempt to find a cute corner and take some pictures. Please excuse the chicken poop. I don't know if you know, but there's a chicken in the background eating the tree. They knocked it down and they're still eating it. Here's some final thoughts about the pants. They're not perfect. They're not perfect, and I'm gonna let it be okay for now. I don't want to fiddle with it anymore. I've managed to figure out how to make it fit really good in the waist without having to undo any of the seams that I double stitched and everything. But there is some tight pulling at the very front, right in here. And I think it's because I took my darts in too much. But I really, really don't want to undo them right now because I put a lot of effort. I put a lot of hours into it. If you have any tips that don't involve me undoing the entire thing, I would love to hear it because I don't want to undo the entire thing. However, I have decided that I'm just going to take a break from it. I'm going to wear it for a little while and see if maybe it can be resolved just by wearing. It's very thick denim and it's not stretchy. So maybe it's just that it's thick. I do think I really do have to undo it, but I'm trying to be hopeful here. I'm trying to be hopeful and maybe I got it okay. I'm going to wear it for a little while and see how I feel. If I do get to the point where I want to undo it, I will film it so I can show you how I fixed it in case you run into the same issue. But I just wanted to point that out that no, I know it's not perfect. And yes, I'm going to go ahead and put this video out because it was just my attempt at making some Free People inspired pants. But they're obviously not perfect. I did add these little bra closures. I did go ahead and place it in the back. Typically, you would do it on the front or on the side, but I place it in the back so that would kind of align with the seam that's down the back. I will say, though, that you either need to hook it first before you get into the pants, or you need to get somebody to hook it for you after you've put your pants on, because trying to hook it after I put my pants on was comical. I could get the first one just fine. I was trying to get the second one. It was like impossible. I struggled for a while. So it was funny, but so much easier if you just hook it and then pull your pants up. That works really well. Another issue that I know that I have that I could fix and I may fix in the future is I went ahead and put my pockets on the side kind of flat. I didn't add any extra space, so it's kind of a snug pocket. There's not a lot you can fit in it, which is disappointing for a cargo pant, but I should have left it with a little bit of bagginess, and that way the button would just fix it and hold it together. And my pockets aren't even. If I want to fix the side seam pockets, I will have to undo the top stitching and then go on the inside and undo the seams, because these are all sewn into the seams here and here. But overall, it's great. If I ever make any changes, I'll let you know. But for now, I'm going to see if I wear it. I'm going to see what use I get out of it, and if I just absolutely hate those things that aren't perfect, or if it's good enough and I like it, because I know I put a lot of effort into it. So we'll see where we're at. I probably won't be wearing it for at least a few months because it's very hot here. It is not thick denim weather right now. So we'll see. But I think that's it. I think that's the finish of the project. So I hope you liked it. I'd love to hear about what projects you're currently working on and what other like Free People inspired or anything inspired pieces that you are interested in making, and maybe our dreams will align and we'll work on another project together.